Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you joined us this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. The title of this video is going to be How to Become a Successful Real Estate Agent. My name is Jim Cerrone.
And my name is John Stoll.
I'm the branch manager for Realty One Group in Green Valley, Nevada. And John is the sales manager here in Green Valley, Nevada. And between the two of us, John, how many agents do we have in our office?
Oh, give or take a little over 500.
And it just kind of dawned on us. We get asked this same question all the time, probably one or two times a day at least. Number one, how do I become a realtor? How do I become a realtor? And how do I become a successful realtor? And we're going to try to take you through the steps for what? Maybe 10, 15 minutes. So just bear with us. If you're, again, we manage a lot of agents. This is what we do. We recruit, we train, we coach, we consult,
Enter.
we do it all. We do therapy. So we just kind of thought we'd take it through the steps. And I'm going to ask John the questions, and hopefully John will come up with some great answers. I know he will. He always does. That won't be a problem. So if you want to be a realtor and you want to be successful, this is where you want to be. So, John, how do I want to be a realtor. My friends are doing it. I have friends that are out there that are making money. I hate my job. I want to move on with something else. I want to at least try this thing. What's the first thing we want to do?
First thing you want to do is find out if you have a personality. Because if you don't have a personality, it's no sense going down that path. 80,
Didn't I say you'd always come up with the right answer? Because that's exactly right. I'm looking for a fluid answer, but that's the question right there.
80% of what we do in real estate is based on our personality and able to connect with people. So if that's something that you're not looking to do in your life, and I've had people in my office doing interviews that told me they don't like to be around people. So you wonder why they go through a real estate test or a real estate school or a real estate anything, because that's our business. It's dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. But if they decide they wanted to do that and they did have a good personality, they felt like they liked dealing with people, then the first thing I would suggest is find a good school where they could get the education that they're going to need to get to the point where they can pass a state test and a national test to become realtors.
Okay, so we're going to put up the screen. We're going to put up a little graphic on what to do to get started. So you need a license. So where do you find that, John?
Get a license by going to Key Realty School, or for example, Key Realty School is one of the schools that we promote. Give you a course. It could be all online. It could be half online, half in classroom. It could be all classroom. But they have to go through that whole course. And when they're ready, they take the school course, the school test. If they can pass the school test, and usually the school test is made a little bit harder than the coming state and national test. So if they pass the school test, they're pretty much ready to take the state and national. They sign up for the state and national on the calendar, and they go in and take it, and hopefully they pass it. It costs $100 to go and take that test, both of them. And so once they pass that test, they then decide what brokerage they want to go to.
So our number 2, we have join a local real estate association. Your number 2 step should be to find a broker, right?
Find a broker first. Yeah.
And what determines that? How do you know what broker to go to?
I would interview brokers and ask the questions that are of interest to them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you provide, we get this a lot. We provide leads? Well, we provide a skill set that teaches you how to get leads.
Love that.
And we're very good at it. So we teach our agents very well, or we wouldn't be as big and powerful as we are. But you do have to find the right brokerage, and the right brokerage may be, maybe it's concerned about the percentage they're going to get. Maybe all they care about is they want to be 100% agent, and somebody's offering them 100% agent, and they do that. That's not the way you find the brokerage. You don't pick a brokerage across the street from your house because you don't have to drive to it. You can walk across the street to it, or pick a brokerage because your best friend's working there, and then your friend's going to say, "I'll help you and teach you stuff." That's not the way you pick a brokerage. You all go interview them, interview the brokers, find out what their programs are, and are they training at all?
Thank you. Exactly.
Mentoring, training, teaching. They're the key elements that it's going to make you either good or bad at what you do.
Would you say was it fair to say that a lot of agents out there really don't get the training they need and the help they need, the support they need?
I would say most don't.
Yeah.
Most get promised it. Most get promised it, but it's like everything else. The broker has to make money. So the broker may be the teacher, and
Mhm.
he's spending a lot of time out there selling to keep
Yeah.
the doors open. And the more selling he does, and the more leads he gets, the less training's going on in the office.
Okay, so you pick your broker, you interview. Well, you interview, you take your test, you interview, you find the right broker. You think you said, then the fees start happening, right? Then you got to pay fees. So that's when you join the association. You pay your membership broker fees, and those are typically what?
Well, for our case, we're joining LVR here in Las Vegas, and LVR is going to be based on the time of month you go in to actually sign up.
Mhm.
It's prorated. So I would say, to be safe, you're probably looking at $1,600, and that's to go over and get you're going to orientation classes. You're going to get your MLS number. You're going to get your password to get into the MLS. You're going to get your lockbox key password. All those things are all going to happen when you join the association, the LVR association.
Okay, so you sign up with your broker, you join the board of realtors. You hopefully you're getting training, right? If you join the right company, like Realty One Group, for example, and other companies. There's plenty of companies out there that offer great training, but would you, as if you were a new agent, would you join a smaller boutique company? Would you join a company like that at all?
Not else, I was a pretty skilled agent and
Okay.
already had some things going for me because there's not going to be much training
Okay.
in a thing like that. And the other thing is when you join when LVR, let's go back to LVR for a second. When you join them, don't forget to ask them about the payment plan for year 2 because they're going to charge you a large sum of money to join. But year 2, you can do it month by month if you ask the right questions because they're not going to offer it up. You're going to have to ask the question, can I have a payment plan for next year?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know that. Isn't that surprising? It really is. So here we put some pain points up here that what you're going to deal with. Again, the failure rate, you'll hear it over and over again. The failure rate is extremely high, but there are a lot of folks that do succeed. Don't pay attention to the failure rate. You'll hear that over and over again. Pay more attention to the success rate. John and I are good examples of that. I've been doing this 31 years. You've been doing this how long? 14, 15,
18.
18 years. Yeah. So people do actually make it, and they make very good money doing it. It's a fun business. Would you say it's fun?
I love it.
Yeah. And here we are still doing it. So a couple pain points. We're going to breeze through them real quickly. Lacking enough time to conduct certain tasks, of course. Needing more money to. Okay. So if I really want to do this right, how much money do you think I need?
I would be putting away at least half a year's worth of salary.
Okay, good. That's a
Start.
good example. So if can I do part time? Is it okay to do part time?
Some of our most successful agents that are out there are part-time agents. It's how skilled you are at working with people. I know there's a gentleman that works for one of our competitors, and the reason I'm bringing him up is he runs a Home Depot store, and he's the lead manager for the Home Depot store. He probably makes $150 to $160 to $1,000 a year, and that's his full-time job, 5 days a week. He part-times real estate, and last year he made over $1 million part-time.
Wow. That's
He walks the
impressive.
floor of the store, talks to people who are doing home improvement and building houses and selling houses. He takes advantage of what he knows and the people he can connect with.
That's impressive. Part time, has a great job at Home Depot, and still, no, wow, that's impressive. Up in the top left corner, missing the right technology. I think when it comes to technology, I think we lead the pack on that. Wouldn't you say?
We're good at it. I mean, there's a couple companies out there that have some pretty cool technology,
Mhm,
but I
mhm.
think the stuff that we have now, I would challenge anybody with our 1U.
Yeah, let's got what. Talk about that a little bit, just briefly.
1U is our university. It's the Realty One University, and it's basically a collection of everything that our
Mhm.
management staff has collected over our years of experience in the industry.
Mhm.
We've put it all into, our tech people have taken it all, collected it, and put it all into an environment where you can go in there and search for anything. And when you search for something, you're going to find hundreds of answers, whether they be videos or whether they be, classes, whether they be books, whether they be audios, whatever it is, it's in there. And it gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what I
Mhm.
like about it because it tells you things not to do and then things that are really great to do. So you can't get any better than that.
So we put up some great points up here on the screen. I advise you to freeze that as you're watching this and read that very carefully. Done by one of the premier coaches in the real estate industry, Brian Buffini. The guy really knows his stuff. Hopefully you're going to hear that name if you become a realtor. So John, what can I expect to make my first year in real estate? I know it's a kind of a broad question, but I get asked that question all the time.
So do I. And it all depends how much effort and time you can put in. Some people that are part-time are going to make less than people that are working it full-time, but we're going to give you all the tools. It's how well you use the tools and how much time you have to use the tools. If you've got a family, sometimes that's tough and you can only work certain times. So you work certain times and you might get 5 transactions done your first year. I think that's a real good goal.
That's a realistic number. In fact, that's pretty good living. I mean, you can't make a total living off of that, but it's pretty good.
It's a good start.
Let's talk about support. So I know no one supports their agents better. You support agents better than anybody I've ever seen. And I'll even include myself in that regard too, because you are nonstop. What, 24 hours a day?
Yeah, I take calls all night long, no matter when that. My goal is that, or my thought process is that if they come off the strip, if they're working down on the strip and they're working and they come off at 2:00 in the morning and they get lucky enough to get a client that they might have made contact with and they're about to sign something and they're not sure what they're doing, I would rather have them call me up and wake me up and ask me the question rather than have them put something on paper that they're not sure about.
And we've added some actual rough ideas since it's going national. We've added some rough ideas as to what the costs are to get into real estate. But I would call it what, $2,500, $3,000 just to get in.
Yeah.
Is that a fair
enough.
Fair number? That's the board. That's paying for a small order of business card. Let's talk about what you join the company. You're rolling now. You're going good. So where do you start? I mean, what kind of marketing do you do? You do open houses? Do you not? All the above.
Well, it's the farming. You're going to be given a whole repertoire of farming things that you could do, and you have to decide which ones work for you more than others. Now, we all have things that we like to do and we don't like to do. I don't necessarily like to make cold calls.
Right.
I can do them. I can teach them, but I don't like to do them. I don't necessarily like to knock on doors, but I can teach them and I can do them. And I love to do them when I'm doing events and trying to get people from the neighborhood to come over to a certain location so I can meet them. So I'm going to knock on all the doors I can. Even though I don't like doing it, it works. And our whole goal is to get people in front of us. So whatever it takes, I'm not a big proponent, and maybe, it's just a personal thing for me, of farming, sending mailers out, because if you're not sending at least 6 months worth of mailers out, you're never going to get recognized. And that's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of money doing that. However, what we've been talking about a lot lately is social media, videos, all those kinds of things. Those are something you definitely want to get started on. At Realty One Group, we just started a little kind of a program for Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. We've got starter packs to get you started. Just a 3-4 quick instruction on how to get started. We'll put our numbers and our information on how to get that. We'll roll that on the screen. There we go. There's our information. If you want to reach out, we're happy to share that no matter who you work for, right? We don't care. If you work for another company, that's fine. Happy to share that.
We're in a world of social media right now. And if you're not taking advantage of social media, whether it be YouTube or, TikTok or whatever it happens to be, you are going to be left behind.
Yeah. So we have been focused on a lot of social media lately, and we believe in that wholeheartedly. So I want to be, if I really want to be successful, what do you recommend I do? I've done it all. I've got my license. I'm ready to go. Give me 3 things that will absolutely
your number one thing,
success.
It's one thing I tell all agents, your database is your business.
Thank you. Okay.
The bigger your database is, the bigger your business is. So feed your database. And how I feed my database is communicating with that database and keep adding people, keep making calls, keep adding people to the database, and communication is the glue that holds the database together.
Is it fair to say when you're new, you're more than likely going to sell to your family and friends? Is that what the database?
Well, the database, that's your sphere of influence. and they can be part of your database, but your database is everybody that you're making contact with. And it needs to be a mixture of people that you sell to and people that you're just big friends with. Because people who you're friends with, who you never put your selling hat on to, they will give you information about what's going on in neighborhoods, what's going on at their work, opportunities that you would never know about. And because they don't feel threatened by you, they feel like you're a friend and they're helping you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think you got to have a mix in your database of all those type of people and just keep communicating, whether it be birthdays, holidays, whatever it happens to be, keep communication going. Stop by, give them a little toy, take them to coffee, take them to lunch, breakfast, whatever you have to do to keep those people in front of you. It's just like when you go out and take someone to a rental, for the next 12 months, you've got to stay in front of them. So is the property management company going to stay in front of them. So you need to be there more than the property management company and keep in front of them and do things with them. So they're going to buy and sell from you.
So your database is everything. Your friends and family, you got to keep up with them. Anything else you want to add to that?
I think you need to get really good on YouTube. I love YouTube
okay,
right
good.
now. I think social media is the way to go. And I love what I'm seeing so far on YouTube. And I think that's a real big player in this
Don't
whole
forget,
thing.
we've got those starter packs. So we put our name and information up there real quick. One last time, how to get a hold of us. Just like I thought you would, John, you delivered. You answered all the questions. Yeah, I know there's probably a lot more questions out there, but there's our information on the screen. Happy to take your phone calls. Happy to help you any way we can. Again, no matter who you work with, right?
That's right.
So any last comments? So you still love doing this, huh? You still?
This is my passion. Training is the passion. You got to have a passion for this. And that's what I love to do.
Wow, awesome. All right, with that said, we're going to leave you now. So we're going to watch for more videos coming out between John and myself. We're going to talk about videos. We're going to talk about social media. And we're going to talk about the problems you have as a realtor and how to overcome each and every one. Because we do have our share of things that come up from time to time. Would you say?
Especially our community, Jim. Our community.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So again, we're with Realty One Group. We're in Green Valley. Happy to help you out any way we can, no matter who you work for. If you want to consider joining our company, I think it's a wise decision. I've been here almost 9 years now. John's been here how long?
4 years.
It's an amazing company to work for. It's like a family here. I would truly say it's like a family. And with
It is.
that, I think it's time to go.